AITA for refusing to let my sister's boyfriend move in after what happened at my wedding. I, 28F, have always been close to my sister, 31F. We've been through a lot growing up, and despite some typical sibling rivalry, our bond has always been strong. I'm married now, and while my sister's relationship history has been complicated, I've generally supported her. She met her current boyfriend, Jake, about a year ago. From the start, I wasn't exactly thrilled about him, but I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Jake is a bit of a wild card. Charming, sure, but also really impulsive and kind of reckless. He's had several jobs, but never really stuck with one. He's moved in and out of different places, sometimes crashing with friends or family. My sister often talks about how he's trying to get his life together, but for what I've seen, it hasn't improved much. When I got engaged last year, my sister was one of my bridesmaids, and I wanted Jake to be there too, even if I wasn't super excited about it. He was polite enough during the planning stages and showed up to the rehearsal dinner. But at the wedding, things started to unravel. At the reception, Jake got a little too drunk. He started loudly complaining about the music, and when my dad told him to tone it down, Jake snapped and said some really rude things to him. I was mortified. My dad is the sweetest guy, and Jake had no reason to be disrespectful. My sister just shrugged it off, saying Jake was just stressed about something, but I was already on edge. Later that night, after the party, Jake insisted on helping clean up, which would have been fine except he started breaking things. He dropped a glass centerpiece and didn't bother picking up all the shards. When I confronted him about it, he said it was no big deal and that people needed to lighten up. The next day, my sister called me to apologize for Jake's behavior. She said she'd talk to him and make sure he wasn't a problem anymore. I appreciated the apology, but still felt uneasy. My fiancé and I ended up paying extra to replace the centerpiece and do some repairs ourselves. Fast forward a few months, my sister and Jake broke up briefly, but got back together a few weeks later. She told me he was serious about changing and even got a new job. I wanted to believe her because I want my sister to be happy. But then things got worse on my end. A few weeks ago, my sister called me saying that Jake had lost his job and was about to be homeless. She asked if he could move in with me temporarily while he got back on his feet. I was stunned. My husband and I live in a modest 2-bedroom apartment. We have a dog, and honestly, space is tight. I told my sister I didn't think it was a good idea. I was still uncomfortable with Jake's behavior, especially after the wedding incident, and I wasn't sure he was really ready to take responsibility for himself. She begged me, saying he had nowhere else to go, and I was the only family member who could help. I tried to compromise and suggested that Jake look for a shelter or a cheap roommate situation. My sister got upset, accusing me of being heartless and not supportive. She said I was turning my back on family, and that Jake needed help, not judgment. I held firm and told her no. A few days later, she stopped talking to me. Jake started sending me messages on social media, telling me I was cruel and selfish. It got worse when I blocked him. My sister accused me of gaslighting her and said I was making her choose between her boyfriend and her sister. Now I feel like I'm stuck in the middle. I want to support my sister, but I don't want to invite chaos into my home. My husband supports me, saying Jake's behavior at the wedding and since then has made him uneasy about having Jake around. AITA for refusing to let my sister's boyfriend move in after what happened at my wedding and now. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the content grow and motivates me to create even more great videos. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. By the way, I'm curious, when do you usually watch my videos? While working, studying, or just relaxing at home? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your support. AITA for refusing to let my sister bring her dog into my house even though she's family and it's a service dog. So, this has been a huge point of contention between me and my sister, and honestly, I'm still unsure if I'm the asshole here or not. I want to lay everything out as clearly as I can because it's been causing a lot of drama in my family, and I need some outside perspective. A little background. I, 33F, have always been a dog lover, but I'm also extremely allergic to certain breeds, and unfortunately, my sister's dog falls into that category. I'm talking about hives, wheezing, and sometimes even an asthma attack, kind of allergic. Because of that, I have had to be super careful around animals like hers for as long as I can remember. My sister, 30F, on the other hand, has been battling anxiety and PTSD after a really traumatic experience a few years ago. A couple of years ago, she got a dog that she says is a certified emotional support animal or a service dog. Her words, she's never actually shown me or anyone else paperwork that proves it a registered service dog, but that's beside the point. This dog is a rescue and very attached to her. I'm very empathetic to what she's going through, and I fully support people having emotional support animals or service dogs if they need them. But here's the thing. I have an extreme allergic reaction to her dog's breed, which makes it impossible for me to be in the same space without suffering physically. It's not like I'm being petty or just disliking the dog. I can't be near it. A few months ago, she started coming over to my house with her dog. I told her multiple times that I couldn't have the dog in my house because of my allergies. She said she understood but kept pushing for exceptions, especially because it's a service dog and it's my right to have it with me. I tried explaining that my allergies are a serious health issue and that I couldn't risk having a reaction in my own home, but she said I was being unreasonable and unsupportive. One of the biggest fights happened when she came over unannounced one weekend with the dog in tow. I was working from home and had made it clear earlier in the week that the dog wasn't allowed because I couldn't be around it. When she showed up with the dog anyway, I asked her to leave, but she refused until I said it would be better if she did because of my health. The dog was in my house for a couple of hours before she finally left, and I ended up having to take allergy meds and use my inhaler for the rest of the day. It was horrible. Since then, every time we talk, it's about the dog. She insists it's a service animal and that I have to accommodate her. I offer to compromise. She can come over without the dog, and if she needs to bring it, we can meet somewhere neutral like a park or her place, but not mine. She says that's not acceptable because the dog helps her manage anxiety and triggers. The rest of my family is split. Some say I should just suck it up for her sake because she's family and clearly needs the dog. Others say I have every right to protect my health and that she's being unreasonable by insisting the dog be allowed into my house when she knows my allergies. Our parents tried mediating but ended up frustrated because neither of us would back down. It's gotten so bad that she barely talks to me anymore, and every family event is tense because of this issue. She says I don't care about her or her mental health, and I say she's ignoring my physical health issues. I'm at a loss. I want to be supportive and close with my sister, but I also can't sacrifice my health or feel unsafe in my own home. I'm wondering if I'm being selfish or if she's just expecting too much. Is it really an obligation to allow a service dog into your private space when it causes you harm? Or am I the asshole for putting my allergies before her needs? AITA? AITA for telling my sister-in-law she's not welcome at our wedding because of how she treated my fiancé? So this is going to be a long one, and honestly, I've been debating whether to post it because it feels petty, but also kind of important to get outside perspectives. I, 28F, am getting married in a few months to my fiancé, Jake, 30M. We've been together for 5 years and recently got engaged last year. The wedding planning has been mostly smooth, but there's one major issue that's causing a lot of tension, and it involves Jake's sister, Emily, 32F. A little backstory. Jake and Emily have always had a complicated relationship. They grew up close but have drifted apart since adulthood. Emily is difficult to say the least. She's known for being incredibly controlling, passive-aggressive, and kind of toxic. My fiancé has tried to keep the peace with her, but I could tell she was not someone I wanted in our wedding circle from the start. Unfortunately, she's family, so that's complicated. The problem started about 6 months ago when we announced our engagement at a family dinner. Emily immediately acted bitter and made some snide remarks about how she hoped the wedding wouldn't be too much since Jake doesn't make much money. It was awkward, and Jake was embarrassed, but we tried to brush it off. I thought maybe she was just jealous or upset about something else. Then things escalated. Emily started texting me friendly advice about wedding plans, like how I should pick cheaper venues, not spend so much on dresses, and how family events should be simple. I was polite but firm, telling her we were happy with our choices and to trust us. She didn't take the hint. She kept pushing, even showing up uninvited to a bridal shop appointment with my mom, criticizing everything I picked out and telling me the dress was too flashy and would make Jake uncomfortable. That was the breaking point for me. I confronted Jake about it, and he said Emily had always been like that, but that he didn't want to start family drama over a wedding. I agreed to try to keep things civil, but told him I wouldn't tolerate Emily being disrespectful to me. Fast forward a couple of months, and things got worse. Emily started inviting herself to meetings with our wedding planner, showing up early to our rehearsal dinners, and making snide comments about my family to Jake. At one point, she criticized my parents' choice of hotel for out-of-town guests, saying it was too cheap and not classy enough, and then complained to Jake that he should talk to me about it. It felt like she was trying to sabotage everything. The final straw came last week. We had a small pre-wedding get-together at our place with close family and friends. Emily got drunk and started an argument with me in front of everyone about how she thought Jake was wasting his life with me because I don't understand family values and only care about money. She kept going, calling me manipulative and saying Jake would regret marrying me. Everyone was shocked, and I just walked away because I didn't want to stoop to her level. Jake was furious with Emily afterward and said he wanted to cut her out of the wedding entirely, but I hesitated because I didn't want to cause a family war. Still, after talking to my own family and friends, I realized how toxic Emily is and how much stress she's causing me and Jake. So I told Jake that Emily would not be invited to the wedding or any related events. I also told him that if she tried to come uninvited, she would be asked to leave. Jake was conflicted, but eventually agreed because he saw how unhappy I was and how much drama she was stirring. Naturally, Emily found out about this decision almost immediately and exploded. She's been sending nasty messages to both Jake and me, accusing me of ruining their family and being a control freak who's bullying her out. She's also tried to guilt Jake, saying he's choosing me over his own sister. Now, some of Jake's family is upset with us because they think it's too harsh and that we should just tolerate Emily for the sake of family unity. But honestly, I don't see why we should invite someone who has openly disrespected and attacked me and caused so much tension in what should be a happy time. I'm starting to wonder if I overreacted or if I'm justified in protecting my fiancé and our wedding from this toxic behavior. So, AITA for telling Emily she's not welcome at our wedding because of how she treated me and Jake.